The question I get so often from real estate agents is, how do I not get eliminated? You go, I'm doing a good job. I'm super nice. People are sweet. They're kind, gentle, polite, but they keep getting eliminated. When you hear certain questions that the seller asks you when you're on the phone or on your walkthrough, these are things where they're putting kind of a stop sign up. You don't get past it, and it's some defense mechanisms for them. Give you an example. You're at a property and the seller says, by the way, how many have you sold in my subdivision? And you're like, I've never been in your subdivision. And well, the answer would be nothing as of yet. The question is, have you been eliminated? Just like that. Because there's plenty of agents who are targeting that for sale by owner that have sold something in the subdivision. But I have an answer for this if you keep getting questions. Another question would be, have you sold in this price range before? Let's say the house is 1,500,000 or 800,000, and because I've been eliminated personally on every question that I'm sharing with you, and I thought I've got to anticipate what they're going to ask me possibly in advance. Again, when you look at most of the scripts that you get on, Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry, all these different scripts, the company script, that kind of a thing, those scripts are only meant to get you in the door. They're not meant to help you avoid getting eliminated. You're kind of on your own. You cross that threshold, you're on your own. This is an end-to-end system. We want you to be consciously aware when certain things get asked, you're about to put your foot in a trap and get trapped and eliminated and didn't even know what happened to you because you answered the wrong way. Well, you gave a truthful answer, but it eliminated you. So the question is, how can you avoid being eliminated? They say to you, hey, Brian, what's your average sale price? Now, they're 1,500,000, and let's say your average sale price is 500. And you say my average is about 500,000. And I mean it just like that. You're probably out. What is your average days on market? And you say 33. You think that was a good number. And they're thinking that took too long. It's important about anticipating these things. So you go, well, how do I eliminate all of that stuff? How do I have it where they never ask me a question? Because sometimes you think somebody's interested in you because they're asking you a question, but could be they're asking it to eliminate you. And if you give them one wrong answer, you're out the door. Now, not physically out the door, but they may have mentally checked out and been polite and go, well, we're so glad you came by. We'll keep you in mind. And you get in your car all optimistic and how well it went. It didn't realize you answered questions, eliminated you. So how do you avoid that? You're going to get into the training a little bit later. We have called visual aids. And those visual aids you're going to see are where you're controlling the interview. I learned early in my career how to interview well. And I didn't study any marketing as a realtor. In fact, in my career, did very little marketing. And I was at one point hit number 2 in the state of Missouri when I was back there. And top Remax agent in the region, top call banker agent in the region, all that stuff, whatever. But it was, people would say, well, what made the difference? Because the president of Coldwell Banker one day said to me, you're the best kept secret. You don't do any marketing. And here I am at the time when he recruited me number 3 in Coldwell Banker, then became number 2, then number 1 in that region. And he said, we're going to make you a rock star. I said, I'm not looking to be made a rock star in the marketing world. I didn't focus on lead generation as much so as I did on lead conversion with high probability outcomes, meaning people that had to sell, not want to sell, and that I was going to lead the interviews. So just be aware when you get asked a question and you're leaving in your car and you're feeling really great about it, if you heard some questions that were designed to eliminate you, you may have to get back on track with them. Better yet, move into a position where they're not asking you any questions other than, Brian, what do you think of our price? because now you're the expert in the room. If they're asking you other questions, most of those are you're done, you're eliminated. Maybe not always, but it's a pretty good indication you're heading the wrong direction with them. And the last thing I like to say about this is look at the videos we have on visualization for the seller, visual presentation of relevant documents. And you'll see, yes, their tax record, what an unexciting document. But if you use it right as part of the story, is use the loan officer list and you give it to them as part of the story. You give them what's called the move up letter. It's part of the story. You show them that they're on Hidden Zillow, part of the story. There's 5 different things you're going to see in the visual presentation. The odds are they're not going to ask you anything other than, what do you think of our price? And what's your brokerage fee? Now, we've got videos on how to respond to that. I'm going to say this, then we'll end this video. If you say to them, they're asking 700,000, they say, Brian, what would you think of our price? And you go, I think you're probably right on. That's like a doctor coming in the room and saying, so what's the problem? And you kind of explain, he goes, yeah, I agree with you. He walks back out of the room. And we need the doctor's opinion here. And we need to hold back our opinion. If you think they're priced right, my response generally is, we're paid a lot of money for short-term relationships. I'd rather not wing it. I want to study my data. I'm almost done studying it. I just had to see the property. Now, in some cases, it's a one-step interview, but I'm a believer in 2 steps. Why? Because the first meeting you have with people is not ABC, always be closing. It's ABA, always be assessing. What's your timeline? Are you the only one they're interviewing? Are they interviewing 3 or 4 people? You can't really come out and ask that, but there's different questions you could ask on your tour and on your sit down that will reveal, are you competing with people? And just because they're your friends, I guarantee it does not mean you have a listing. They may have you over and say, you know what, Brian, we'll talk to just one more agent. We promised ourselves we would talk to 2 agents. And it's funny, some agents were like, if I knew I was competing, I would have done it differently. Act as if you're competing every single time and make sure that you've practiced. And you're going to get tired of hearing me say this on these videos. I'm hoping you practice your listing interview presentation 20 times before you go on a presentation. And you got to practice till you can't get it wrong, till you're bored with it hearing yourself. And then it comes out naturally. It becomes muscle memory, just like a baseball player when a ball's coming at him 100 miles an hour and he could hit that ball. He's not thinking about it. He knows the swing. And your presentation should be so good, it's coming out of muscle memory where you're not having to think on your feet. All right, thank you.